Instructions for accessing subtitles in a language other than English are included on our board meetings webpage as well as in the description below. Instrucciones para acceder a los subtítulos en un idioma que no sea el inglés se incluyen en nuestra página web de reuniones de la Junta, así como en la descripción a continuación.
Board of Trustees regular meeting. Today is November 12th, and I am calling our meeting to order at 6:03. We have 4 trustees present in person at the Ross Valley School District office at 100 Shaw Drive in San Anselmo. Myself, Rachel Litwack, Anna Marsh, Chris Landels-Cobb, Daniel Cassidy, and we are missing trustee Shelley Hamilton right now. We also have cabinet members present. We have Assistant Superintendent and Temporary Superintendent Julia Walcott, filling in for Tyler Craft. We have CBO Chris Carson, and we have our Director of Student Services, Lori O'Connor. This meeting is being live streamed via YouTube, and the link is on our website and on the agenda. There will be a 60-second delay between the meeting and the YouTube live stream. An audio recording of the meeting will be made available on our YouTube channel. And with that, I will move us over to our agenda. The first item is closed session. I'm going to identify our closed session topics. We have one item, which is conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to Government Code 54956.9, subdivision D2 or 3, special education program dispute, one case, student SSID 317-251-3915. There is no public here for a public comment, so I will recess into closed session at 6:04. Welcome back. We are reconvening in open session at 6:34. My report out from closed session is that we approved Cabinet's recommendation on special education program dispute, one case, student SSID 317-251-3915. Our next item on our agenda is procedural items. The first one we have is the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you'd like to say the pledge, please stand and join me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item we have is to adopt the agenda and time allocations. Do we have any changes, edits, questions? No. Do we have any public comment on our agenda here tonight? Nobody with public comment? Okay. With that, would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda and time allocations.
I'll second it.
Thank you both. Chris?
Aye.
And Daniel?
Aye.
Anna? Aye. And Rachel? Aye. So we have adopted our agenda for tonight, which will tell us how we're going to go through this whole meeting. Our next item is our procedural items. Our communication, excuse me. And the first one on there is public comment regarding items that are not on our open session agenda. So if you have something you would like to bring up to the board, you can step forward, and as long as it's not on one of the other topics that's listed later in our agenda. All right. So seeing no public comment, the next item is correspondence and communication to the board. We have 2 items there posted about emails that we received in the last session since our last board meeting. Next is our announcements by labor unions, CSEA and RVTA. I don't see CSEA. I don't see them either, so please.
I didn't do anything here.
Uh-oh.
Hi everyone, I'm Deanna Subtile, co-president of Ross Valley Teachers Association, and just wanted to briefly say on behalf of our RVTA leadership that we're pleased that our tentative agreement was passed by our members last week. So we're relieved to have continued health and welfare benefits coverage for employee only, and for the contract changes that prioritize teachers' time spent on assessing, grading, reporting, as well as extra duties outside of our work hours. A 0 salary increase is a really difficult pill to swallow, and our members are feeling a lot of stress and anxiety about the uncertain future. We're cautiously optimistic about a parcel tax passing, and we know that we'll continue to lose staff to higher paying jobs until we can make salaries more competitive in Ross Valley. At the same time, there's a greater understanding of our district revenue challenges, generally speaking, among our members, and a real appreciation for our leadership team, for the transparency, the education that's happening. We're all learning a lot. And the collaboration and mutual respect that has been demonstrated over the last several months between us and the district management. And I always want to thank the board for your continued support of our educators and your dedication, most importantly, to the success of all of our students. Thank you.
All right. Our next item is e-student presentation. And I'm very excited to say that we are welcoming Wade Thomas students here for a presentation on EL education. So if that group would like to come up, we'd love to see you.
We have Principal Julie Harris here to welcome the group and start us off.
Talk really
Do you want
slowly.
us to
Justin and Nellie are on their way.
Oh, okay.
Talk really slowly.
Here's what comes in here. Give me frequencies because we'll say super elements. Got it? The house.
Ooh, let me see. Yeah, I don't know. He just said they're on their way.
We'll make it work. Make it work. Okay. First of all, thank you, esteemed board and district office staff for welcoming us and family and friends for bringing everyone and being part of our wonderful Wade Thomas community. I'm Julie Harris, principal. And I'm here with our 2 amazing 4th grade teachers and 3 out of 4, soon to be 4 out of 4 4th graders, here to just share with you a little bit about our EL education. So just kind of setting the stage a little bit and activating your schema. We're going back to the LCAP, which is our district plan for student achievement and improvement. And the LCAP goal is all about teaching and learning. And so we are driven in that direction. And you can see there's several action steps. And while we are doing all of those action steps tonight, we're just going to be talking about, I think it's 1.3, because these aren't going to help me with that. We have the district driving the plan, and then the school site also has a plan. And in our school plan, we have our focus on this same action step, which is taking this new adoption that we have all agreed to and learning and trying it out. So we're very excited about it. The structure of the new program has sort of 2 parts to it. The main part, one part is the modules, and that's where the teachers are actually teaching the content knowledge. And then the next part of it is the skills block. And that's in our K2 section, you can see on the left, and K5 is on the right. The skills block is called All Block in 3rd through 5th grade, and that's where students and teachers get to meet together in small groups. They get to work together individually in pairs. They get to work on foundational skills. Teachers get to meet with small groups as well. So differentiation is happening all throughout this new program. One of the highlights of EL are the texts, these authentic texts that are very rich and deep, that feature diverse authors and different representing a variety of cultures and experiences and voices. So a very different kind of integrated ELA program for us, which is wonderful. It has this this idea of mirrors and windows, that you can see yourself in the text and you can see others, and you can also kind of deepen your understanding of everyone through that. This idea that we're representing all diversity, individuals with differing abilities, and building empathy and building kind of a bigger breadth of experiences for our students. Really, we're always trying to push the limit around critical thinking. We want our kids to be independent learners that can think critically without all of this adult support, so they can go on to their college and future life without needing the support of people scaffolding them through as much. The program includes these modules. There's 4 modules a year, and we want to just sort of give you that quick overview. We're in module 1 here, we're finishing this up. So it's everything from toys, exploring toys in kindergarten as the theme, to down in 4th grade poetic forms and learning about inspiring minds. And so, there we go. You can see that this is the first module, and then we've got 3 more. So really these content units, these units that are rich with content to build a lot of knowledge for our kiddos. We talked a little bit about differentiation before. I want to highlight that because it's always important to remind everyone that in school everything isn't just one size fits all now, and that we really do try to tailor the learning to the students' needs. And that happens mostly in the all block section, but also a little bit in the module section too. So I'm gonna stop talking, because as every good principal should do, is hand it over to the teacher, the experts actually teaching it, and they're gonna share with you a little bit of their highlights from teaching this for a couple months. And you wanna introduce yourselves? This is Mr. Marshall and Mrs. Stewart.
Yeah, so I'm one of the 4th grade teachers, Sam Marshall. I think we wanted to kind of highlight what we are really enjoying about the program so far. And what's really stood out to us is the academic rigor of this program. It's really pushing the students to be writing and thinking deeper about the things that we're working on. So for this first one, poetry, and looking inside inspiration and really diving deeper than what we have done with students previously. And I think this is really reflective in their work. They're writing these essays, which you will hopefully hear very shortly, that are way above and beyond which that we've seen before of students at this time of the year. So I think that's one of our big things that we're enjoying.
And we talk to the students about it all the time. We say, oh my gosh, it's the beginning of 4th grade, right? We're just the first couple months of 4th grade, and we're asking you to write an essay about what inspired you as a poet. I was not doing that in 4th grade. And so it's amazing to see the work that they have produced. We're really excited to share it with you guys. The other piece is that they'll tell you this too. They love the mentor text. So the first book that was our mentor text is Love That Dog, which is a book that's been around a while, but it really has them dive deep into what's happening with that book. And there's a follow-up book to it called Hate That Cat that they were all dying to read next once we finish that book. And then we're currently diving into animal defense mechanisms. So we're reading a book called When Lunch Fights Back, and all about these animal defenses, and it's kind of gross and kind of interesting, and I'd say that's a huge highlight of the work.
Yeah. For teachers as well, it totally helps us that, and the students may not like this bit, but we certainly like it. We have lots of data points. They're doing lots of different assessments and just little skill checks where we can check in and know what they need for their supports. And every module is also ending with a culminating task. We call it their performance task, where they combine the knowledge over the whole module into this big presentation, and they get to show off all that they've learned throughout that whole unit of learning. And so we just completed that, and it was really cool to see that they actually draw on everything that they've done to do this task at the end.
And I would say the last piece for us as educators is that EL integrates not just our reading skills, but also the grammar, spelling. We're diving deep into vocabulary right now, looking at different ways to define, different strategies students can use to define vocabulary, talking about affixes, using glossaries, using your prior knowledge, your context clues, and it's all wrapped up into all of your units. It's not something separate that we have to figure out how to weave into our day. So that's been great. But we're gonna stop talking now. So our performance task was the students were to, after reading a lot about poetry and famous poets, they were to, and they did some practice. So they practiced writing some poems, they practiced writing essays, with the final piece of writing their own poem, finding inspiration in their life, and then writing an essay about that inspiration in their poetry. So their poems will come up on the slides, and then they will read them to you, and then they will read their essays to you that they wrote.
And I think we have, there's our 2 classes. Alright.
I'm Jad, and today I'm going to be reading my book and I. Here I lie, in my bed, with my book, my best friend. We lie here together. We spend hours like this, in my own world, my favorite world, where I lie and read my book, like a lost sailor in the vast seas. This is my essay about my poem. I love to read. Just this school year, I've read at least 10 books. I usually read mysteries like Spy School or hilarious stories like Wayside School. But this year, I got into reading poetry too. Reading poems in school inspired me to write my own poems. I learned that many poets write about their passions. The poem I wrote, My Book and I, is about one of my passions, reading in the comfort of my bed. I read and read for hours in my bed every day. My parents used to tell me, it's time to read. Now they say, Jad, will you stop reading? The line in my poem that says, with my book, my best friend, shows how much joy reading brings me, just like my friends do. A good friend makes you happy, just like reading does for me. Wherever I go, I have a book with me. In my car, at school, at the pool, but especially in my bed. When a friend is not around, I know that I always have a book to keep me company. When I'm feeling upset, my book is there to help me calm down and cheer me up. I included the simile, like a lost sailor in the vast seas to show how I can get lost in my favorite books. When I open the first pages of a new book, I feel excited for what's coming next. Different stories bring me different emotions. In some books, I feel empathy for a character and it brings tears to my eyes. Other times, I crack up laughing. And sometimes, I feel like I'm one of the main characters, saving the day. The biggest emotion that I feel is disappointment when I know a story is coming to an end. Without books, my life wouldn't be the same, and I never would have been inspired to write my own poetry. But most of all, I would never go into the world that I love the most, the world that brings me away to a special place, from the comfort of my bed.
When I love of Hawaii. When I watch the sunset, the colors change in the sky as the song is singing. When I think of my dear love Hawaii, I think of the sounds and sights. Hawaii and I sit together on warm and cold days. Hawaii and I sit together in the hardest of times, like the fire that burnt the beautiful town and the tree that keeps standing. Hawaii and I are strong together. Hawaii is one of my favorite places to visit, and it inspired me to write my poem. I wanted to write about the fire that happened in Maui. I have so many memories and pictures from there, and I was heartbroken to see the destruction. In my poem, I talk about the beauty of Hawaii and about the fire in Maui. The things I find beautiful are the ocean, sunsets, and sunrises. I think it's beautiful because of all the colors and how they look together, like orange, yellow, and peachy pink. I love visiting Hawaii, and it made me really sad when the fire happened. The last time I was there, I saw the old banyan tree and shopped along French Street 1 month before the fire burned it all down. Hawaii means a lot to me. One quote from my poem states, like the fire that burnt the beautiful tree, that burnt the beautiful town and the tree that keeps standing. The fire burned so much of the town down, but the banyan tree was the only thing left in the area. I know it's not as big as it was when I saw it, but parts of it is regrowing. That tree has been there for such a long time. The shops on the street were much newer. The old tree still stands and makes people feel blessed and thankful that they have something left in their town. The shops and homes can be rebuilt. Another line from my poem reads, Hawaii and I are strong together. Even though the fire destroyed parts of Maui, it's such a special place, so different from my home. It's a happy place for me and my family. Hawaii inspired me to write poetry. I hope that Hawaiians can rebuild their lives and the tree survives and grows. I want to visit Maui again and go back to make new memories.
Acorn Tree by Ellie Marsh. Swaying through the sky like the acorn that fell off the tree, like the dust that swayed out the door. The acorn had inches before it hit its destination. So weak it cracked into 1,000,000 pieces, like it controlled the dirt underneath it. It is the end now. The end now. Have you ever sat under a tree? My poem was inspired by our oak tree at home. This inspired me because sometimes I look down from my window and see a seed falling off the tree. This topic is special to me because the sound of the seed hitting the ground is like an alarm, all the dogs barking at once, like the acorn that fell off the tree. When I use this line for my poem, it shows my inspiration by a seed that fell off our oak tree. I also chose the word cracked into 1,000,000 pieces because it shows how fragile the acorn can be. I was inspired to write about the fragility of an acorn because even though they are normally hard and tough, it can be a good thing when they break open because that means a new generation of tree will grow. This is important to me because we need to keep saving trees, and I love having one in my front yard as a reminder to save the trees. I was inspired by my oak tree at home to write this poem. It is important to me because our oak tree makes me feel safe and proud.
Trees. Branches stretching out to the sky like the wings of a bird, as if they were calling for freedom. Leaves, each one like a wish for something better. Roots, like underground waves, flowing out and bringing us together. Blood, each sliver like a poem waiting to be read. here's the essay about my inspiration. Have you ever been on a hike in nature before? Have you ever wanted to preserve the place that you were going to? I was inspired by the beauty of nature and trying to preserve these beautiful places. And I was especially inspired by trees. Nature is very important to me because we are running out of our beautiful forests and we need to stop people from cutting down trees. Nature is special because more and more trees are being cut down every year because people come into the world each year and therefore people need to log more forests to build homes for the new generations. So we need to protect the trees. I use the word flying. It shows my inspiration of being against climate change because flying usually means the ocean, and one of the things that is causing climate change is that our oceans are being polluted, and I want to stop that from happening. I was inspired by the beauty of nature and preserving forests to write this poem. This is important to me because forests are so beautiful and we need to stop cutting them down. I hope this poem has inspired you to look at trees in a new way and to help preserve the forests.
That's our presentation for tonight. Thank you to the 4 students here. We're so pleased that you were able to join us tonight and show off your amazing work. You did a really great job.
Alright, so usually what we do at board meetings is after there's a presentation, we get to ask questions, so of all of you. I don't know if you guys are open to answering some of our questions. They're not hard, I promise. Do you have any questions?
I have a question for all of you. What is your favorite book?
Spy School.
Spy School.
Yeah.
I'm reading this one. Okay,
That's a good one.
I like the One and Only series.
The One and Only?
Like the One and Only I and the One and Only.
Yep.
I like the Land of Stories series.
I like fiction books.
What's your favorite right now, Ben? Oh.
I wanted to say that each and every one of you touched my soul because I can identify with each and every poem you wrote. Nature, reading, Hawaii, acorns falling. I really feel like you have captured the ability at such a young age to speak to the world and to make everyone remember this time in their lives. And I just want to say great job. I really appreciated it. Awesome work. Keep it up.
What was harder, to write the poem or to write the essay about the poem?
The essay. Definitely the essay.
The poem was not hard, the essay was.
How long did the essays take?
The essay, a while.
Yeah.
Probably maybe a couple weeks, a week and a half.
Really well written.
Do you guys share your poems with everyone else in your class and your essays, or?
No.
Well, our poems are like hanging up like on our like writing wall thing, but not our essays.
Just one by one, what do you want to be when you grow up? Today.
I don't know.
Don't know? What do you want to be?
No idea.
No idea. Okay.
A marine biologist.
Okay. All right. That's awesome.
Any more questions? Do we have any public comment on this item? Okay. So one other thing that we like to do when we have students that are visiting us is we like to invite you up here for pictures. Because I'm sure your families would like some pictures of everybody, but you can also sit here.
We're also gonna sit in our chairs.
And you can sit in one of our chairs, and I'm board president, so if you wanna like knock on the table with it, feel free to sit in my chair. Come on. All right, that was our lovely presentation from Wade Thomas. It's the best when kids come in here, I love it. Our next item on the agenda is F, presentation and or action items. The first item here is update on local control and accountability plan, LCAP. Goal 2, just student wellness.
Fabulous, and so I'll be presenting that this evening, Julia Wolcott, with Lori O'Connor, our Director of Student Services. So we're excited to bring you just an update. This year we're making a little bit more of an effort to make sure that you're getting updates on the various goals and actions within our LCAP. And so goal 2 is all about student wellness. And just as a reminder, the actual goal is to design and align current social, emotional, and behavioral programs and interventions within our multi-tiered system of supports to support the social and emotional well-being and academic success of all students. And then within that goal, we have 3 actions. The first of those is to work on identifying, building, developing our transitional kindergarten through 8th grade social emotional learning curriculum. The second is to work on chronic absenteeism and lower that rate. And then the third is to continue digging into our data, which is typically survey data. And so we're going to start. Lori's going to take it away with that first action around SEL.
Yeah, so our Student Services Department is in the process of putting together a plan for our social emotional learning for TK through 8th grade. And actually Julie Harris, who is just here, she's helping support this, and we're creating a committee to put this plan together. And some of the key elements will be to embed SEL daily in the classroom. So we're going to be doing training with our teachers to make sure that they have the tools that they need to make sure that it's embedded in the instruction, and also allowing kids to feel that sense of belonging in the classroom. And that is already happening right now. It's, just getting some more tools and toolboxes. We definitely want to highlight restorative practices instead of using punitive actions when things don't go so well, making sure that we are building those positive relationships so the kids know that they fit in and that they belong, and make sure that we have practices that can support their growth and well-being. We also want to celebrate diversity through inclusion, and we are doing that extensively through our Special Education Advisory Committee right now, looking at inclusion. And there are already a lot of different practices going on, so we'll be highlighting those practices and sort of sharing best practices as well. We have some really effective practices happening where we can have other teachers come in and see those types of things happening, and getting some training there. And empowering staff, we're going to be offering trauma-informed practice, professional development, so that teachers can work with students as effectively as possible who do need that little extra support. And then also engaging families. So already a lot of work is being done with families at all of our school sites through all of the weekly newsletters, sharing the different character building activities that are going on in our schools. And then, of course, monitoring progress. So we have a couple different measures for that. We have the California Healthy Kids Survey. We also have, I'll be talking a little bit about our new system that we're going to be using called Kelvin. And then we also use Panorama data to really look in and to monitor, social emotional learning and the social emotional wellness of our kids.
Question. The ongoing professional development and trauma-informed, what exactly does that look like?
It's strategies for teachers, just additional strategies to ensure that kids get the extra support that they need. Sometimes our kids come in with a lot of trauma, maybe even from school previously, that we want to make sure that they're feeling supported. So there's just different strategies, and it's actually a movement that the trauma-informed practices is, there's California Department of Education has put out a whole toolbox around that, and they actually can come out and do those trainings with our staff, free of charge actually. And so just making sure that they have this. So yeah, it's around sense of belonging, it's around, our differences, making sure everybody feels included.
We really leaned into trauma-informed practices with the return from the pandemic. And so it's really wonderful to see us kind of like move back into there because we are noticing some behaviors and it's a way of really just supporting students and meeting them where they are. And making sure like behavior is communication and really understanding the whys behind behaviors and using that to make decisions. Just a couple of other parts of our SEL work. I wanted to highlight, we have a pilot going on right now at two of our sites, Brookside Elementary and White Hill Middle School. There's a local educator, Tanisha Tate Austin. She was an assistant principal in the TAM district. She was principal of Miller Creek, and she now has a consulting firm called Critical Friends, and she has partnered with some teachers in the county to create a curriculum. And this curriculum has 10 lessons. It's basically one lesson a month, and you can see over to the right in that box the different lessons. And students in TK all the way through 8th grade are kind of going through an age-appropriate version of the same theme as they move throughout the year. And it's a really beautifully built curriculum. The teachers are given a instructional slide deck to use. There's every lesson focuses around some kind of a book, kind of like our book bundle books, but honestly just so thoughtfully done. And I've been hearing really good things from our teachers. They really like it. And also there's a lot of interest from the teachers at the sites that are not yet piloting. We wanted to do kind of a slow rollout, to get to see if it's a good fit for us, but also with the ELA implementation right now with the EL education, not wanting to overwhelm our teachers and give them too much. And then I did want to point out that a part of EL education is one of their components, they have these three kind of core components: mastery of knowledge and skills, high quality work, and character. And so character is a part of the lessons. There's usually a learning target around character. And I just went to the very first lesson in the first unit in the first module for kindergarten, there at the top, and 5th grade at the bottom. And you can see, I have to pull it up here so I can actually read it, just some of the alignment. So in kindergarten, students are working to become effective learners as they demonstrate collaboration by sharing toys and working together to learn ways to make playing together fun. And by the time they get to 5th grade, they work to become effective learners as they demonstrate initiative, responsibility, perseverance, and collaboration by engaging in pair, small group, and whole class discussions, reading complex text, independently completing assignments, and using and sharing classroom resources responsibly. And then that second bullet there is around becoming an ethical human being, which we're starting them early and focusing on. So pretty neat to have the SEL work embedded in the ELA program.
That goes along with that SEL plan as how that works in the classroom.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. All right, and then as part of our goal to sense of belonging, LCAP goal, this is action 2.2, is to reduce chronic absenteeism in the district. And chronic absenteeism, the definition of that is when students, they're chronically absent if they miss 10% or more of the school year. So if you have 180 days in your school year and students are missing 18 or more days, they're considered chronically absent. And so, and that, as we have, we're like 60 or 70 days in right now, it's adjusted because it's just whatever, 10% of whatever number of days, but by the end of the year, if a student's missed 18 or more days, they're chronically absent. And that is for excused, unexcused, and suspensions as well. So when families call their child in as an excused absence, an absence is an absence, and it does count toward this chronic absenteeism rate. And so you can see our rates here from chronic absenteeism. You can see a significant decrease. After COVID, the state was about 30% chronic absenteeism across the entire state. And then here we are coming in 22-23 at 17.8. and you can see, I mean, we, you know, a 7% decrease and then another 5% decrease. So we are on a really great trajectory here, and we want to continue that trend. And all of our schools are doing a lot to try and keep kids on campus, make sure that parents are calling in absences, make sure that kids are getting independent study when possible, and so we're trying to continue decreasing that as part of one of our goals. Still statewide, we only have statewide data for 23-24 right now, but statewide we were at 20.6%, so it's 10%, more than 10% less here in Ross Valley. So our attendance is great.
What were we during COVID? The state was at 30%. What do you think we were at? 20?
I can look.
25? I mean, that's okay.
Feels like a good guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So right out of COVID, 2021 school year probably, or.
It was all of the absences due to illness, but then there was also that kind of shift in work mode, right? And all of the remote work and families that could select to go work from Tahoe or Hawaii.
21-22 would have been your first regular year.
21-22.
That's okay. It's,
yeah.
I'd like to know.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you guys want to have the data, why not share it?
22. I'll just have to wait for it to.
And then is this the 5% last year? That's 5% of our entire student population was chronically absent.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's TK through 8.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the 21-22 school year, we were actually at 14.1%. So we took a little bit of a up, and then now we're coming back down.
Yeah.
So, and then the statewide in 21-22 was 30.8%.
So we were still twice as good as the
Yeah, yeah. And even in Marin County, we're like during that time too, it was 16.1%. So in Marin County, we were doing a little better on our.
What about 18, 19? And then we'll stop. I'm like, now I'm curious.
Well, if you love data, you can go on to DataQuest at CDE, and you can get all the data you want. What 1920?
Yeah, or 1819 before.
1819. Yeah. Okay.
One of the things that that has become a part of our system is using our care team meetings to look at absenteeism and really drill down and see which kids aren't making it, and what have we tried. There's a lot of like person-to-person contact of the teacher or someone else on staff reaching out to the family and trying to figure out how they can get back into school. And I think that's made a big difference as well.
It was also helpful a couple of years ago. We received a presentation on the demographics, age, school. It was really detailed and it was really eye-opening. And so that might be interesting to look at again if there's been any changes to specific groups that are more absent than others.
There's certainly enough to do a full presentation for you upcoming, so we could definitely put that on the docket. And this is still spinning, so when it comes up, I will let you know. Pre-COVID.
All right, and then moving into action 2.3, which is really about data. We're all fans of data here. So Panorama is the platform that we've used for the last 3 years, and Lori's going to talk to you about the new platform that we'll be launching this year. But this is our data for 3rd through 5th grade, and kind of gives you a sense of where we are. And really, like, you see mostly green arrows, but they're just up 1 or 2 points. It's been pretty consistent through the last few years in terms of where those numbers are. We've really wanted to push up that valuing of school. It's a hard one because inside that one are questions like, how interested are you in what's going on? And how often are you applying what you learn in school at home? And in order for it to be seen as a favorable score, it needs to be all the time or most of the time, with some of the time putting it to the unfavorable, which is kind of interesting because most kids, some of the time sounds kind of positive, I think, when you're talking about how often are you applying what you're learning at school at home or that sort of thing. So just a little bit of a funniness with Panorama, one of the reasons we're switching. And then 6th through 8th grade actually had significant growth this year in all areas, which was pretty terrific to see. You know, it's always, you know, telling to see how our middle school kids are doing, and this is based on, you know, 529 responses. So that's pretty good, solid data there. And pretty interesting.
So what's social perspective taking?
That's like, I can see that my friend in class is having a hard day and I can show empathy for that person, or I understand, it's understanding the perspective of others.
So empathetic.
It's your empathy one, yeah.
Then
And emotional regulation
low
is.
empathy in middle school.
What's that?
Low empathy. In
It
middle
is
school.
up 15 points.
We are way up on our empathy score.
When was this data taken?
This would have been the spring
So
of last year.
So these are our
Yeah.
So these are current 7th to 9th
And
graders.
how is
Correct.
How is it? Is it administered in a class?
It's administered in class, probably during advisory, and it's an online assessment, and parents receive a similar assessment. The questions are kind of interesting. I really like a lot of the questions, and then some of the questions feel questionable, but like, that's an interesting way of putting that, and some of our parents have given us that feedback. But it's really important to look at the data we have. I didn't bring it forward tonight, but we definitely look at the data in terms of student groups. And like, for example, I was noticing today for 3rd through 5th grade, and what are we calling, that the valuing of school, our Latinx population rated it the highest in the whole district, although their ratings for sense of belonging were lower. So just kind of interesting to see, you know, where the different student groups are falling.
All right. Okay, and then to circle back on our attendance before we get here. So California absenteeism rate in 18-19 was 12.1, and we were at 9.7. So pre-pandemic, we're looking way better than pre-pandemic right now. So that's really interesting. All right, okay. And then another measure that we use across the state is the California Healthy Kids Survey. This survey is given to 5th, 7th, and 9th grade students every other year. And so this is another similar to the panorama where they're asking questions about all various indicators to determine you know, school connectedness and belonging. This is another measure. And I just put the 3 years of data here so you can sort of see the comparisons. And this also, you know, looking at some of the questions too, some of the questions might be perceived differently by, you know, like if a student doesn't know a definition of a word or something like that, like, do you feel like there's like one that I saw one time that said, do you feel like you belong at your school? And it's like, well, I go here. You know, I mean, how do you interpret that? And anybody, there's a lot of different ways to interpret that. So anyway, here's the data for 5th grade, and you can see that it is on the high end in 24-25, and then this also is this is different cohorts of 5th graders, obviously, because this is only 5th grade data, so it's different groups of kids. So we have to remember that. So we're not tracking the same kids over time.
And then, so just a question, feels safe at school for 5th graders, 92%.
Yeah.
And the previous one, the 3rd to 5th grade, school safety was really only at 71%. So is there any correlation, like, hey, our 3rd and 4th graders don't feel as safe, but our 5th graders do?
Or it's how the questions are asked.
Yeah.
And that's a whole interesting thing of what is the set of questions that goes with each one of these categories to get them there.
And these scores actually, just based on being in using the California Healthy Kids Survey for a pretty long time, these are very high scores comparatively to other districts that All right, and here's the 7th grade California Healthy Kids Survey, again, with a little different for our middle schoolers. And again, you know, you can see some what is, like, for instance, what does meaningful participation mean to a student? What does that mean? And so I think some of the questions sometimes are difficult they get different answers just because it's for not understanding the question too. So. Okay. And then I want to talk a little bit about Kelvin. Kelvin actually gives us the opportunity to tailor our surveys. So Panorama and California Healthy Kids Survey are all set questions. They're norms. Everybody in the whole state takes them. However, Kelvin does have a way that we can tailor those questions and actually tailor them to answer, or we can use our LCAP to drive the questions. Like, what do we want to learn about what kids are experiencing in our schools? And Kelvin actually does have a whole bank of questions that were developed by UC Berkeley, and that you can choose from, or you can make your own questions. So what we're going to do for this coming spring is we're going to have a group of our staff get together, sit down, pick the questions related to what we want to know about our students, and then have those questions set throughout, over, so that we can be marking them over time. Also, those other surveys are only one time per year, and in California Healthy Kids surveys every 2 years, so it's hard to get a pulse on what is happening. And so this way we can give that survey a couple times a year and see where we're at. So if a student, all this depends on when you give the survey too, because if it's at the beginning of the school year, everybody's excited, yeah, school's great, and then right before winter break, if you gave it, it will look a lot different. After winter break, it will look a lot different, and at the end of the school year. So we want to measure over time, and we can do some good comparisons that way. But this is, and in fact, this whole thing is that this little questionnaire is called a pulse. So as I mentioned, like getting a pulse on how things are going. It does provide real-time feedback, and it gives really great data interpretation of the data. And then also it is partially funded by the Cal Hope grant right now, and it is significantly less expensive than Panorama. So Panorama contract was around like $37,000 for 3 years. This is about $7,000 for 3 years. So, over time. So anyway, so this is a great thing. We can customize it. We can give it more often. There's also ways that you can just do little pulses. Like if you have a 5th grade class that there's some bullying going on, you can just do a quick little, hey, how's it going today? And then there's also the option for kids to say that they want to talk to an adult, and that is it's confidential, but it's not anonymous. So certain people can get that feedback that the student really needs to talk to an adult today, and we can reach out to the student as soon as possible. So we're going to use this year and move away from Panorama so that we can do all that customization and also make sure we have much cleaner data over time. And this actually, you can actually give this all the way down to TK, because they do have Likert scales where it's smiley faces and things like that. And so right now we can only survey 3rd through 8th grade with our Panorama.
And we'll still have Healthy Kids, which will give us that like state normed, big info, but this will just be a little bit more targeted for the information that we're really trying to get at.
So you said there's an option for students if they needed to speak to an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Is it, unless they do that, is it all anonymous, or is it always just confidential, all of it? I'm just curious, like the distinction between the data there.
Yeah, so you have a select group of staff that have access to that would get that. The surveys would be anonymous, but that particular,
if they use that feature,
you want to know who the child is to be able to reach out to them. So they do have it set up that way. So you're still anonymous on the surveying, but then if they answer yes, I need to talk to somebody, it pops.
Gotcha. Just wanted to know, because I know at the middle school level there's a lot of like, oh no, these are not anonymous. I'm like, so it's nice to be able to reassure them that this is anonymous unless you hit this.
Yeah, okay. That's good to know, because when we roll it out, we'll make sure they can.
Yeah, because they're like, these are not anonymous. Don't answer anything. I'm like, no, please answer it. It's anonymous. But
you're getting 30% scores.
I mean, do we have any idea like how truthful they're being?
It's That's why you want me
Teenagers?
to look at large numbers of kids, because when you survey 500, 600 kids, you're statistically gonna get a pretty good, strong result.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, we've learned a lot about how you roll it out. Like often teachers will have the same talking points and really introduce it and talk about the importance of it and kind of level set, and then you get stronger results.
Sure.
And especially in middle school, you'll always have some kids who do whatever it is
The
they do.
equivalent of the Scantron and the smiley face.
Yeah,
And then another aspect of this is having the principals go through the data, pulling out the key themes and reporting out to their community. This is what the survey showed us, and here's the one thing we're going to do to improve the school. So because that way, when it's not just this random survey that is no, we're not going to use it for anything. Instead, the principal is reporting out, hey, this is what we saw. I was surprised about this, and this is how we're going to do some things. So if they see action, then all of a sudden they're like, wow, oh my gosh, my voice is valued, you know. And so we'll definitely do that activity with the principals throughout the year.
And how quickly do you get data from Kelvin?
Instantly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they do some of the analysis for you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they'll break it into different student groups
and we can we have unlimited use of this, and so we can survey families, we can survey staff. So we'll be doing those pieces too.
And that's it.
Jump the gun with all my questions.
This is great.
Yeah. Do we have any more questions? Do we have any public comment?
Yeah, so a couple questions, or with the old panorama, and you saw those scores and that one thing, because it's just a static question. This you're saying with Kelvin, you'll be able to see that, identify it, see if you get a better result, people frame the question differently, is that what I heard correctly?
I know I'm not supposed to answer, but
I know you're not.
So
I wanted to ask you.
I am curious about how we'll respond to these things,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
information that we get. So
yeah, for sure. So we definitely want to keep the questions similar so that we do get, data over time. That is another piece. I know that the California Healthy Kids Survey does change questions up sometimes, and so it's hard to, if we don't have the same questions, it's hard to measure over time. But yeah, we would definitely have the same questions, thoughtful questions, making sure that we're answering, where we're addressing our LCAP goal and getting the feedback we need. And so then that way we can be tracking it over time, because it's really the only way you can see that improvement and make sure that that we're actually making an impact to support the kids. Thanks.
It sounds great. Thank you for the great presentation.
Great. So no further public comment. Do we have any discussion up here? I appreciate that you found something that we have a little more flexibility with, because I know that we've been kind of locked into certain things, and I know that there were questions where I was kind of like, this is a really odd question, like why are we asking it this way? And then we can't change it. So that was particularly appealing to me. And I like the fact that you can do it at different age groups, like and twice. That's like fantastic. And then there's the cost benefit too, which is great. Like I'm finding this. And it's just discussion and information. Do we have any other comments? Doesn't look like we have to do anything on this one. It's just an update. So thank you, Lloyd. I'll move on to our next item, which is ratified change orders, numbers 1 through 3, submitted by Michael Paul, Incorporated, for the Wade Thomas and Manor asphalt projects.
Thank you for allowing me to bring this forward this evening. And so I know we had talked several times about the projects that we had ongoing during the summer. One of them, or several of them, were the asphalt bid. And we did have 3 change orders. One of them is a positive change order. You also see a negative change order and a smaller positive as well. They net together to be $12,952. And it is, I don't have the exact percentage here, and I apologize, I don't have my computer. It should be about 7.5%. We have a 10% threshold that we can we can do that. And the one thing I want to point out that is not here, because I want to make sure that the public and as well as the board understands that when we do projects, we look to really ensure that we control costs. And so we also had a second bid for a roof at Hidden Valley, the multipurpose room. And one of the things that we did is we had built in a small contingency into that particular bid, because with roofs, you never know if there's wood that is underneath that's bad. And so they didn't use the entire contingency. And so there would be a negative change order coming back to the district of $13,274 on that. So we're paying less than what was approved by the board. And so you don't see a change order coming back for that because there's no approval necessary. But when you net those two together, this $12,952 and the $13,274, we're actually paying less with the two bids than what was approved by the board. So I know that's not ideal that we have change orders, but this is kind of what happens when you have projects like this. So with the approval of this item tonight, you would be approving the three change orders.
You're saving us money.
Yes.
You want us to vote on that?
I like your question. Do you have any more questions for Chris? I mean, I appreciate the transparency.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the manner that's fixing the sort of painted situation?
No, that was actually, when we did it initially, we requested that it be slurried.
Yeah.
And when they looked at it after the bid was done and we were starting the project, they realized that it had already been slurried. And so they couldn't put another one down on it and have it stick properly. So that was the reason for that.
Wait, what's the $34,000 change order? It just says paid 22,000 square feet. Was it more than?
It ended up being more than what was.
More square footage than what they had originally estimated?
Yeah.
Because of the thick, right?
Yeah, because we ended up having to take a lot out as well. Yeah. That was a school that we had a lot of areas that were in really bad shape. And this was also the project that we had put out for bid, and we didn't have anybody come to the mandatory job walk. And so we had to put it out again for bid. And so it didn't get approved until the June 25th meeting. And at that particular point, once we started going through this, we could have stopped the project and dealt with it further. But what would have ended up happening is the work would not have been done at Manor and Wade Thomas. And Wade Thomas was actually dangerous at that particular point. So.
Any more questions for Chris? We'll go to public comment. Do you have any public comment on this? Nope, seeing none. I will bring it back to board for discussion. Any discussion on this one?
Played basketball with my son at Wade Thomas the other day. It was very nice. I didn't trip. It was great. He didn't trip. It was good.
Yeah, I've been to both of those schools, and I do appreciate the work that was done there.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a really tight timeline. It all had to get done.
Thank you.
So, looks like we need to, you're looking for a recommended action card. Do we have any?
So I can make a motion that we ratify the change orders 1 through 3.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Great, Daniel?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Rachel? Aye. Thank you for sitting with me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our next item is consent actions. Do we have any questions on any of these? We can approve these all in one motion unless somebody would like to pull out something to discuss. If there's not, then we can approve all action. Anybody want to pull anything out? Any have questions?
There's nothing I need to pull out.
Nothing you want to pull out of the consent?
No.
Okay. Do we have any public? No public comment on consent. Okay, I'll entertain a motion on consent actions then.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent actions.
Great. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you both. Anne?
Aye.
Daniel?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Rachel? Aye. Move to consent. And so next item is board business. I have committee updates and reports from and announcements by trustees. Daniel, you want to start since you're at the end?
Yeah, I don't really have too many updates. I did offend some people at Whitehill by telling them that the Brookside lunch duty is much more fun than the middle school lunch duty. So I'm working my way out of some hard feelings with Carrie in the office. But it's true. Elementary schools are more fun. To play basketball and foursquare. No. I just have
You
to.
can play blackjack for candy.
Ooh, I haven't found that.
That's middle school, man.
Well, I'm meant to be outside.
Or karaoke. You could karaoke too.
I haven't seen these yet.
Chess club.
Okay, that sounds way more fun than kids cutting in line and throwing balls at each other.
I don't know. I can beat the third graders in basketball. I can't beat the eighth graders. So maybe there's that too. No, but it is fun being more involved at Whitehill, and I'm starting to coach the 6th grade girls team starting on Monday. So that will be fun. Basketball, yeah. And everybody at Brookside is excited about Matilda, the play that's coming up. So a lot of they've received their permission slips, and I think right after Thanksgiving they're going to start auditions. And some students have very strong opinions on who they want to be, so it's going to be fascinating.
It's gonna be a great show.
It's going to be a great show. So.
I'll go next.
Wait, no, you skipped me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, what have I been up to? I've done a lot in this, because we've had an extra week. Let's see here. Couple meetings with Godby for the polling, which I think is going. I cannot wait for that data. Oh my god. Budget advisory committee meeting, special education advisory meeting. I went to I saw John Carroll speak at the League of Women Voters meeting. Joined that. That was fun. Made some new friends. E2 and JLAC were this morning. And then lots of fun stuff. Like, we haven't met since before the fun runs and Halloween, right? All of that stuff was fun. The canned food drive going on right now with the scouts.
That's a big one.
Yeah, all the campuses. That's cool. I don't know how that came to be with the scout connection, but it's very cool. So there's that. What else? We went to the 3rd grade. That was so fun. Patricia Pelleretti, 3rd grade at Brookside. That invitation she sent us, I was like, what? I want to get these invitations for all of this stuff. It was so cool. So they had what they call it, a book cafe?
Book tour.
Book tour. And so they made these, it was a book report. You know this? Oh. That my 3rd grader last year didn't do it because it was a new curriculum. But it was so cool because they liked the audio visual component of it. They were so proud, and like recording and then hearing their own voices. They were like, it was really cool to see the kind of figuring out the audio visual. And then the content was all about libraries, which that was super, like really, really digging deep into like the benefits of libraries, not just that they're there. So yeah, that was fun earlier this week. So we gotta spread the word to the teachers to invite us to more of these things. That was cool. Yeah. Okay, that's it.
Okay. I will miss the Halloween parade when my kid leaves Brookside. That was
right. You don't have to miss it.
Rachel was still there.
I was there.
Yeah. That's true. That's actually true. I appreciate that perspective because I was like, oh my God, this is gonna go away. Wait, it's not actually. Really great event. Look forward to that every year. along Anna's point, the teachers, just a shout out
Oh, yeah.
to the teachers that are asking parents to come in and share their cultural experiences with the classes. Food and presentations, it's getting very well received. And there's a lot of pride that comes with the kids whose parents come in and talk about their culture and share those fun things. So I just want to continue to show our support to let those teachers step outside of that zone and let that happen.
What grade?
Fourth this year, I know, but other teachers are doing it as well. So they're just offering the chance for parents to schedule. Yeah. Joint exercise powers. Got an email October 27th. Yellow school bus, been in full swing for the first several weeks of school. And they were reporting at that time that it's been a huge success so far. So they skipped the usual meeting to take place. And the next time our meeting is in January. And they provided us with the numbers. Now in August, it was 100% on time, all the way around. It was great. September, they dealt with some illnesses from some bus drivers, and they had to combine some routes and fill people in the last minute, but it still was close to 90%. So the ability to manage those unforeseen circumstances shows that this is a strong program and going far. So I just wanted to put that out there. So I'll be able to update everybody in January when we meet again. But that's it.
Thank you. So let's see. I went to the choir concert that they have. They have a masquerade concert around Halloween, and the students on choir all dress up in costumes. So you get to see a choir performance, and they're in costume, and it's fantastic. It's so fun. This year I showed up, and I realized, I was like, why are like all the music teachers wearing flannels and like cargo pants and glasses, and they were all dressed up as Mr. Santucci. He was fantastic. He nailed it. He was amazing. They even had like random things stuck in all the cargo pants pockets. Like they had it perfect. It was so funny when you saw them all together. So I have a picture of that.
Love that.
But then the orchestra was also there, and so it was just lovely hearing everybody perform. And for being like October, it's really impressive to see what they've all learned to put together musically. So that was it's always fun. I love going to those concerts. I did go to the Brookside Parade, the Halloween parade.
I saw you.
And I liked that the district staff were wearing adorable costumes, matching as well, even little matching slippers. Went to the League of Women Voters meeting where John Carroll spoke about the uncertain future of public education. So that was
Is that uplifting?
Oh, so uplifting. Talking about insecure funding and question marks everywhere. And
Our district was mentioned many times.
Yeah. I also attended a Harvard Education Press webinar that they had on the future of education, which is funny because I signed up for that one long in advance before the League of Women Voters one, which is kind of a similar topic. But they had 4 authors on there who all had different areas of education that they were looking at. So one was like creating educational justice, and it was from her perspective of a Black educator, but students who are in home being educated. And then there's one about the big lie about race in American schools, and then there's an author who wrote like, Who Needs College Anymore? And then there's one who's like unlocking the potential of team-based staffing, which is something that like we kind of do here already. Listening to him talk about it, I was like, we totally do that here. But it was just really an interesting panel of authors. They were all there and answering questions and talking about their perspective on those things. And then I also went to the 3rd grade book tour at Brookside, which was just, I agree with Anna. It was wonderful that we were invited as a board. Like, I'm glad that I was able to work it into my work day. The students all wrote their own stories, like created their own stories, and then they recorded it and created a presentation that had the voiceover. And they were so excited to have a perfect stranger. Like, I had the volunteer tag on, so they knew I was like a legitimate person to be on campus. But they were so eager to let me hear what their stories were, and it was very sweet. And it was similar to like the experience with the poets today. they were proud of their work. They'd obviously learned a lot during this section that they had just been studying in 3rd grade, and I was just really happy to see that they've embraced that ELA program, especially from the educators, because I know it's kind of a lift.
Yeah, it was right.
But
that's what Patricia said. It was like there was some learn as you go. They did it together.
Paying off though, and the kids were so exuberant about it. It was just wonderful to see. So that's what I got going on there. So with that, do we have any public comment on any of this? No public comment. Cool.
Can I just remembered something.
Oh, you forgot.
It's too late? I'll go for Shelley. Seeds. I attended the poetry thing probably 4 weeks ago. Do we know a lot about Seeds? Because it was exceptional. It's the poets that come into our classrooms I just had coffee with Matt and Elizabeth just the other day for 6 weeks to 8 weeks just for a class, and they do some poetry and then they move on, and they're working with 6 districts across Marin County right now. But there were so many teachers from Brookside that were there, teachers from Hidden Valley that was at this kind of a ceremony. You know, they're recognizing the high school seniors, people that were maybe not just high school seniors, but high school kids that were in the program.
Where was it?
It was at Marin Art and Garden Center. It's 3rd year, and I just know it from a connection at Dominican, but it was exceptional. And so I met with the 2 directors and said, how do we get more involved? How do we get more knowledge? Because Sammy was there, Barbara was there, 5th grade Hidden Valley teacher was there. There was Amanda Wagner. So there was some school representation, but I don't know how we help share that and promote that.
Is it an acronym?
You want to put that on future board direction.
There you go. But anyway, I went to that and it was awesome.
I was supposed to go to that because my kid she got like an honorable mention thing.
Yeah.
But I whiffed on that apparently. All right. So moving on to approval of regular meeting minutes for October 22nd, 2025. Do we have any changes, edits, questions? No. Do we have any public comment on this? No. All right, any discussion? None? That's one.
Teresa, they're always perfect. I just like, no. So I don't even like saying that anymore. I don't know, like, it's just, and I'm looking. So, great job.
All right. So with that, I'll entertain a motion on this one.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from the October 22nd, 2025 meeting.
Great. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you both. Chris?
Aye.
Daniel?
Aye.
Anna?
Aye.
And Rachel? Aye. All right, we've approved those. And our next item is recommended approval that the Board of Trustees hold its annual organizational meeting at its regular meeting on December 17th, 2025. This is pretty perfunctory, but I will let Julia go.
Yeah, this is just something that comes forward every year. And so it's the organizational meeting, the elected board of offices, our board president, board clerk, and Marin County School Boards Association representative. And so that'll come up at our next board meeting.
Okay.
So this is where like you get to stand up and say, I'd like to be a board president or board clerk. Alright, no questions?
This microphone's not on.
I really hear you guys.
I'm staying.
Alright.
It's called the meeting of voluntold.
So no questions, any public comments? No. Alright, any discussion in here on this one? No. Alright.
Well, actually, on a serious note, I think that if anyone is interested in stepping up into the position of president or clerk, for example, to call those of us who have these roles and talk about them, right? You know, we do have to have don't blink at me, don't you blink at me. We have to have a succession plan. Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Well, and
well said.
Okay, Rachel and I will talk.
I'm happy to answer questions about serving as a clerk or a president. I've done both roles, so I'll just leave it at that. Does anybody want to make a motion on this item?
I will make a motion to approve the Board of that we hold our annual organizational meeting on December 17th.
I will second that.
Great. Anna?
Aye.
And Chris?
Aye.
Daniel?
Aye.
And Rachel, aye. All right, so we've approved that. Our next item is Superintendent Cabinet Report. Take it away.
Terrific. I will double down on the Brookside Parade for Halloween. Really fabulous. But then I'm going to raise it to the White Hill Halloween Parade, which you haven't been.
Wait, they do?
Oh,
yeah.
It's pretty epic.
And it's really good. It's very creative and fun and hilarious. So
Wow,
that's
I just
actually my
assumed
personal favorite.
people were dressing
Oh
up.
no!
Oh, no, it's like next
They
level.
dress up. And they do themes.
Oh,
In
They're pretty
groups.
fun.
I gotta go to that next year.
And I also we do weekly visits, Tyler and I, to sites. And so last week I was over at White Hill and got into, I think, 6 different classrooms. And it's just wonderful to be in classrooms and see what's going on. So really enjoyed that. The California dashboard is released tomorrow. It goes public, and just my preliminary look, things are looking really good for Ross Valley. We've made some good progress, which is terrific to see. This will be the first time that there's a science indicator, so look for that. Next week, we start conferences at the elementary level, and so it's our super minimum days, and it's the rollout of our new report cards. So excited for that.
Too.
And those will look a little bit different, and looking forward to the feedback as well. And then just recognizing and thanking everybody who was a part of making the difficult decision to close some of our sites last week. And I want to give kudos to Marcy Trahan, who put together a very detailed school closure plan that we were able to rely on. When that happened, I kept telling Tyler, you're going to leave and the power is going to go out, and we never quite got there, and yeah, I was right. And I'm really hoping that tomorrow we're okay. It's a big storm with lots of wind coming. Chris and I have already been talking about, how early does he need to go out?
The 3 of us were planning the agenda the day before, and Jill was like, okay, well, I don't know. We're like, oh, it's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it.
I think I might have made that happen. Talking about it too much.
I was just like, oh no.
It's such a bummer to close the school,
Yes,
because
it
we have to add another day to the end of the year,
And the
this
power
is
came
the
back on like 10
I know.
minutes after school started.
It's
You just
really,
never
really
know.
hard, but in all of those cases, there was no ETA for 1 hour.
I know.
It's a little bit of vindication though for Manor and White Hill teachers, because it's always those school,
it's
right?
true.
And so I may have heard that it was
the
like
universe a little bit.
Yeah. to add that extra day onto their school year. Yeah.
Well, really hoping that tomorrow and the rest of the year we don't have that issue. And that is all from me. Chris?
On Saturday, I attended the Manor Field Day.
Yeah.
And so I do want to do a shout out to the group of people that were there. We had Eric Sundin, who has a child at Manor. We had Rowan Gaffney, who has a child at Manor. Eddie Rodas and his son. And Eddie, Mr. Rodas is actually in Venetia Valley and a member of the soccer club. Jeff Mayo is a parent of at Manor. Sylvia and Frank Maresca, both from Manor. Jason Ford and his son Gibson were present as well, and they have Mr. Ford has his son at San Anselm's, so also a member of the soccer club, coming and helping. And then we had Eric Betancourt, a parent from Manor, and Jim Guthrie, who has children at both Manor and White Hill. And I do want to say thank you to each and every one of them. It was not easy work. It was a lot of sweat, and we went through 20 yards of soil getting it spread out on the field. And because we had a good amount of people, it took about an hour and 40 minutes to do that. But we were able to get that spread out, and then Des and his staff came back through and dragged it after that to further smooth it out. So
Did the gophers go like this?
the one good thing is that site actually doesn't have a lot of gophers at the moment. Let me knock on wood a couple times. It's more at White Hill currently, but we've been doing a good job getting that out. And so we'll probably do something similar at White Hill, probably in the late winter, early spring, getting ready for the spring. But I want to say thank you to each and every one of those people that came out for the betterment of our students and our school community. So.
Was the dirt, I'm just curious where it came from.
We had to purchase it. So we purchased all of that.
We have so much dirt at our house.
Yeah.
And acorns.
And acorns.
And acorns. The other thing I want to thank is the RVTA and their leadership with the negotiations process. I will be coming back and doing an AB 1200, which is a process that I need to notify the County Office of Education of the salary settlement. And then we'll be bringing that tentative agreement to the governing board at the December meeting. So we just needed for them to approve it, and then we'll do all of those other steps. But again, I want to say thank you to the RVTA leadership and their hard work in getting the agreement, and also to the entire RVTA staff. So with that,
Thanks. All right, and then we celebrated World Occupational Therapy Day. We had two occupational therapists in the district, Megan Griffin and Nikki McGinnis. So we put some information out about that. So they're an amazing part of our team. Also, we had the National School Psychologist Week, November 3rd through the 7th. We recognized Carly Shakwa, Alicia Solis, and Marjorie McDonald for their amazing work that they do with all of our kids and all the hard work they put into IEP assessments and all that. So that's great.
Oh my gosh.
We had the Dedication to Special Education organization who raises money to provide grants for teachers. We got results over the weekend, and the following grants were awarded to the following people: Kara Chambers, Jamie Evans, Brianna Hatfield, Sarah Hom, Rebecca Hayhurst, Elisa Solis, Stacy Weldon, and Rachel Zalis. Almost $10,000 in resources and like flexible furniture, some curriculum pieces and things like that.
That's great.
Amazing. Yeah, so so that's super.
And they individually applied?
They did, yes. Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
They did. And everybody who applied actually got their award, and so it's pretty amazing.
Congrats.
So yeah, good stuff.
That's exciting.
We had a group of Brookside teachers participate in safety care training. Safety care is more tools for toolboxes around de-escalating, elevated students, getting them back to regulation. And so they went to a full day training through Marin County Office of Education to learn new strategies on de-escalation, trauma-informed type practices. And so they came back, and I got very good feedback from some of our teachers who are already using the tools or things that they can just start using the next day. So that's exciting. And actually, what's also exciting is there's another training on January the 5th, and we're going to have about 15 of our classified staff go. It's not a work day for them, but we do have funding through our Title II federal funds to be able to send them for the day and pay them. So they will get those tools as well. So that's huge for our classroom management and making sure kids get what they need when they're in those tricky spaces. We're also in the ending stages of our special education program review with Holly Wade. Holly was out on November 4th last week, I guess. And we toured every site. We hit every single school site and walked through classrooms. It was fantastic. And then she did stay for our special education advisory committee that evening. And she did share out some of her preliminary findings. A lot of what we know already as far as all the strengths go, the amazing staff, the supportive, families, the amazing kids and all the things that we're doing. And then she also provided just some areas for growth, and she's going to put that into a report, and then they'll come to us, in early January. We'll look at that at our next Special Education Advisory Committee meeting, and then they'll come to this meeting too. And from there, we'll go through that, and together we'll draft, our advisory committee will draft a 3-year special education plan. And we did have that meeting, the Special Education Advisory Committee meeting. It's just the energy in the room was amazing. We had people there that really deeply care, and we had some great conversation. We talked, we also started developing a school or district-wide definition of inclusion. And so we're going to be running that through various groups so we're all on the same page, and so we know where we're headed, and super exciting stuff. So, yes.
Awesome.
Thank you all. Let's see, with that, we get to move on to meeting review. We've got future board topics and board direction.
I have in the E2, I think it was this morning, they're talking about how January 1, board members, trustees are gonna be mandatory reporters. So we're gonna need to do required training for that, so we have to add it. We'll have until like July to do it, but it's something we need to.
I think we've already been assigned those.
No, we don't have mandatory reporting.
It's not mandatory reporting, but I mean, we went through the training for it. Like, we were all assigned it.
Not the mandatory reporting training. It's like you have to do a specific one on that.
I think it's being a mandated reporter, and that is one of our Keenan trainings.
I don't think.
Yeah. I'm looking at Chris because he
do it.
assigns them.
Yeah.
I would normally pull it up right now.
I just pulled it. I just pulled it up. It's not.
It wasn't one that we assigned.
Mm-mm.
It's easily assigned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one we could add it.
So that would be
So we
something.
need to discuss that further or not, but
I did, yeah.
we have
Just
time.
when I caught up with my training.
I know. I'm trying to decide if I've done that one or not. Like, it feels like I've done that one. Same.
Well, a lot of us have in our jobs. It's
Maybe
just
that's
that
not-
as
that's not
board trustees, we're gonna
Yeah.
be mandated reporters now as of next year, so it's just something that we have to have training on. Like, I mean, I do it constantly for my job.
All right, so we'll just make sure that we're all covered. Thanks, Chris.
Yes, you have not been assigned.
Thank you, Liz.
Wait, you have, actually you have.
I know I have.
You did it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, wait.
Anna Marsh.
We will discuss this later. Anyway, off topic, off agenda. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Any other board topics or direction that we'd like the staff to take?
Do we want to discuss the correspondence at times that comes our way?
Right.
Just, you know,
Yeah, when's the right space to do that?
Well, I think when it comes up on the agenda.
That's when we should discuss it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'd say that, like, when it comes up and I'm like, hey, correspondence, like, that would be the time to talk about it.
okay. Yeah, I noticed that today we didn't offer that opportunity, and I was just curious if.
We should have. Okay.
But that's good to know. We'll just, yeah, it's not always that there's something that I'd like to put my 2 cents in, fill out my green card, but today was.
We could put it on an agenda if you so like to.
No, I'm over it.
Next. Okay. I have inquired about getting that put on a future agenda though, that topic. Just so we have an idea of what the expectations are and what the legal requirements are, since it was kind of unclear.
I also think one of the things that we should have is just brief public education about what our meeting is and what role the public is expected to play. Because we are having a meeting here, and it is in a public forum, and we will engage with the public, but within the boundaries of the Brown Act, right? And so we're not having a meeting with the public, we're having a meeting in front of the public that has the right to have public comment. I think sometimes that line is crossed beyond my comfort.
Is there like can we discuss this at the future of
That's
having
what
like a statement at the beginning of the meeting or something? Like, is that what?
You make me read more stuff.
No, just maybe like 2 sentences. No, I don't know, but there's stuff, I agree.
Yeah, sometimes I think
Okay.
the veil
I'm
is
still
being-
learning
the
that-
veil
yeah.
is being pierced
Okay, so
more
we-
than I'm finding
So it
comfort.
sounds like for board direction, we wanna like figure out a time or place to put on an agenda where we can clarify when people are allowed to speak to us as a board for public comment.
Well, and just like what?
But make it clear that we're not interacting with them necessarily, but that they're here to provide their feedback for our consideration, but we're not here to have a dialogue. So we need to work that in somehow, I guess.
And I hate to, I mean, I
think
don't
just-
wanna be the wet blanket here, but I just think that there's a dance that I'm starting to see that I'm not comfortable with. So, that's all.
Right, I think the education component of it is like the key, like this is what this meeting is.
We're here to meet and run business. We're here to run
I think
business
so.
for our schools.
Thank you.
That's all.
I'll let, yeah.
Alright, so we can go that direction.
Thank you.
Any other direction?
Oh, one thing that, future meeting, Julia, if you would give us a little, with the substitute teacher, like that was very wordy today in that meeting, if you could
You're
present
from
that
our
to,
meeting this morning
Yes,
from the E2
from the E2.
and the work that the county's done around
Yeah.
substitutes. And
if you could present that to us on like the changes, that whatever we need to know, because it seems like there's some stuff that maybe I missed but are important. That we all should know.
That sounds confusing. Okay, we should probably do that. Alright, any other future topics, direction? No? Okay. Thank you. Meeting debrief.
Julia, thank you.
Yes.
The continuity of leadership and the succession planning we have in place is evidently perfect. Tyler should be home relaxing with his new baby.
He shouldn't be listening to this, but he is. We should have started it.
You have this under your wings of control, and thank you.
You are very welcome.
Thank you.
It is my honor, and huge thanks to my team here, Chris and Lori and
Yes.
Tyler behind there and all of you. We're good, well-oiled machine.
Good luck tomorrow.
Yeah, good luck
I'm not gonna happen.
Hopefully it's not terrible in the morning. Okay, alright, with that, I am going to adjourn our meeting at 8:10.